Steve Harvey has been in headlines a lot lately, mainly because of his wife's alleged affair. But what did Monique have to say about Steve? She called him out for some pretty crazy things. Here's everything that's happened. Steve and his wife Marjorie have been married for over 16 years now, which is why it's so shocking that there have been so many rumors about their marriage falling apart going around lately. Allegedly, Marjorie cheated on Steve with their bodyguard and chef, and according to some sources, she now wants to divorce Steve and get a $200 million settlement. It's hard to say if these rumors are actually true or where they even come from, but according to Steve, he and Marjorie are fine. He said that people should find something else to do. Clearly, he's not happy about people talking about him this way, but at the same time, he should probably be used to it by now. He's definitely no stranger to controversy, and this is where Monique comes in, because she and Steve have a pretty crazy history together, and she called him out for different things many times over the years. Just last summer, she went on a rant in front of a big audience in which she dissed Steve as well as DL Hughley, Oprah, and Tyler Perry. This is especially crazy because she and Steve used to be really close, but now they're basically enemies, and Monique doesn't ever shy away from criticizing Steve. The whole rant that she went on actually really blew up. During a Memorial Day weekend comedy show in Detroit, Monique had a lot to say about the lineup. She claimed that she was supposed to be the headliner of the show and that this was in the contract that she'd signed, but allegedly, DL then decided that he wanted to be the headliner, and according to Monique, he said that he wouldn't perform if she headlined instead. Monique called him out during her set, so DL then had to go out and perform to an audience who was probably not exactly on his side. And this actually led to another beef between Monique and Steve, because Steve didn't like how Monique behaved at the event, and he decided to address this on the Steve Harvey morning show. Steve said that he didn't care what Monique thought about him because clearly he wasn't her problem. And then he talked about how difficult it must have been for DL to come on after Monique's set. He said that no one in the audience knew anything about Monique's contract and what it said or didn't say. Obviously, people came to be entertained, and she made her issues everyone's business and made it hard for DL to do his job afterward. Steve also had a theory about what might have happened with Monique's contract. He speculated that maybe she was told that she was co-headlining, but she actually got incorrect information. Either way, he wasn't there for Monique's comments, and neither was DL. He actually said that he decided to work with Monique against his better judgment. He knew that according to her, it was always someone else who was the problem, like Steve or Oprah or Charlemagne. Still, he decided to give her a chance, but he obviously ended up regretting it. Monique and Steve's beef goes deeper than the whole DL drama though. They used to think of each other as brother and sister, but then everything went wrong when Monique started feeling like Steve wasn't really on her side. Monique had a tough time in Hollywood after she refused to promote the 2009 movie Precious without getting paid for it. She was allegedly blacklisted by some really powerful people. These were the likes of Lee Daniels, Oprah, and Tyler Perry. After that, Monique allegedly had a hard time finding more work in Hollywood. She got labeled as difficult, and she felt that people like Steve should have done more to help her, but Steve claimed that she'd burned too many bridges, and this led to an explosive interview on Steve's show where the two of them really got into it. The conversation was supposed to help fix things, but instead, it was what really drove a wedge between them, and now it seems like both of them regret ever doing the interview. According to Monique, there was a lot that got cut from the conversation. What we actually saw wasn't the full story, because she apparently had a lot to say to Steve about his behavior. Steve also said that he wasn't happy with how that discussion turned out. He said that he regretted how he spoke to Monique, and he later took full responsibility for what happened. He said that he should have slowed down when he was talking, and that he should have guarded his words more carefully. But at the end of the day, the conversation happened, and it obviously broke Monique and Steve's bond, although the bond was already kind of broken before that, because Steve clearly had a lot of opinions about Monique that she didn't like. He didn't think that she went about fixing her problems the right way, especially when it came to the issue she had with Netflix. This was another drama that Monique was involved in. She asked people to boycott Netflix after she got offered $500,000 for her comedy special, and obviously $500,000 sounds like a lot of money, but Monique actually thought that it wasn't enough, and there was a good reason for that. She said that Netflix had a color and gender bias. This is because Amy Schumer was offered $11 million for her special, and Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle reportedly got $20 million. What's more, Amy then went back and asked Netflix for more money. She explained that she just thought that she should get more, and Netflix agreed. But when Monique tried to do the same thing, she was told no. Apparently, Netflix told her her that the $500 deal reflected how much revenue they thought she would bring in. Monique didn't like this, and that was why she asked people to boycott the platform. She called them out for their biases, but Steve didn't think she went about this the right way. He said that the boycotting idea wasn't really clear, and he also told her that these were rich people problems. Overall, he seemed to not be on Monique's side in all this, which she clearly didn't appreciate. Steve also told Monique that he didn't like the comment she made about Oprah, Tyler, and Lee either. During one of her comedy shows, she told them that they could suck her private parts, and Steve thought that that was inappropriate, but Monique defended herself, saying that it was her freedom to say what she wanted on stage. She and Steve then argued about money and integrity. She repeated that Steve should have stood up for her, but he told her that it was all a money game, and he couldn't afford to just make a statement for the sake of integrity when he had his whole family to think of. It's clear that Monique and Steve just aren't on the same page about most things these days. Last year, she even accused Steve of spreading lies about her. It's kind of sad to think about the current state of their relationship, especially since they used to be so close once. They used to think of each other as family, but now they only ever seem to interact with each other when one of them calls out the other for their behavior. I'm not sure if they will ever be able to fix things between them, but right now it doesn't even seem like they want to do that. They're just on completely opposite sides in all this, and I guess only time will tell if that changes. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Are you on Monique or Steve's side? Do you think they'll ever go back to being close friends? Let me know in the comments below.